Hello, this is Flurry Moon. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with Reddit stories. And we are doing a 5-ticket villager hunt. So I know that's not a lot, but I think it makes the stakes higher and it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we have 3 stories today, so let's just get right into it. Am I the asshole for refusing to remove certain foods from my house because my husband's friend is allergic? My husband and I recently moved into the same city as his childhood best friend, Steve. Steve is allergic to all nuts, legumes?
Vegetables.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
And soy. Because of this, my husband wants our house to have a rule that we're not to have nuts in the house in case he comes over. I think this is a dumb rule and I refuse to comply. I did agree to keep my nut-based products in a separate container, but my husband thinks that this isn't enough. I'm allergic to wheat and we still have it in the house. I also think it's unnecessary. I don't know the extent of Steve's allergies, but I do know it's not immediately life-threatening. He doesn't carry an EpiPen, and he also works in food service and frequently handles nuts. Being in the same room isn't going to hurt him. As long as we don't serve him food with nuts and watch for cross-contamination, we should be fine. The foods that Steve is allergic to are a big part of my diet. Also, this is where I live, not Steve, so I feel like I shouldn't have to cater to the possibility that he might come over at some point in the future. But my husband is worried he'll accidentally cause his friend to have an allergic reaction if we don't keep the entire house free of allergens. Am I the asshole for refusing to go along with that?
I always jump the gun and then I'm like saying something and then you're like, really? And then I'm like, damn, I have the wrong opinion.
I already know what the overall vote is, so I feel like that kind of like hinders what I think. But I think I'm trying to be like unbiased. I do feel like this is a little crazy, you know? Especially because like you're allergic to wheat, but it's still in the house, yet Steve is suddenly more important.
Yeah, why does the husband care more about Steve than her?
I think he's in love with Steve.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I think it's important to mention that this is a gay couple. So I bet the husband is in love with Steve. So someone commented basically being like, there's a lot of gay jokes in this comment section being like, your husband is gay for Steve. And OP says, nobody has even considered that my husband and I are already gay. I suspect Steve downplays his allergies not to bother anyone and that my husband is just anxious. I don't think there's any malicious intent here. Steve not having an EpiPen could be due to the cost, but again, I don't know, and that's why I'm asking about the situation with the info I have. So I think there is a possibility that's just where my mind goes because they're childhood best friends, and the whole thing about you being allergic, like OP being allergic to wheat, yet there's wheat in the house. Like, why is Steve's nut allergy, like, way more important than yours, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like he literally works in the food industry and he handles nuts. Like, it's clearly not, because I know a lot of people are allergic to things and, like, if it's even in the air.
You know, they could solve this really easily. And I know that that OP doesn't want to feel like they have to cater to a visitor's feelings or wishes, but, like, I feel like if they ask Steve, like, hey, if you do end up coming over, what would make you feel the most comfortable? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like,
what does Steve want?
why not just, I don't know, communicate? Like,
well, I think the problem is OP's husband is saying, like, we shouldn't have nuts in the house ever in case Steve comes over. I think that's ridiculous. I think
that is overcompensating.
I think your husband should let you know, hey, Steve's gonna come over. Can you, like, put away all the nuts or something? Like, that's kind of more normal.
He sounds anxious. Yeah, like he has too
but
much.
to never have them in the house ever, just in case one day he comes over.
It's ridiculous.
That's not, I feel like that's not.
It's not fair. It's not fair to the
It's
OP.
not fair, and it's just not. What's
Logical.
the word?
We should move
if anyone
on.
knows what I'm talking about, it's another way to say it's not sustainable. Okay, villager number 2. Oh my god, wait! This is Daisy? Question mark? Oh my goodness! She's really cute. I love her, like, square eyes and her purple ears and eyebrows and everything. And I only have 3 tickets left. Yay! I'm gonna take her. She is so cute. That is great luck. Like, I understand if it's like a really bad allergy and Steve is around all the time, you know, and it's just
Right.
easier not to have them. But like, this is also OP's house, so like they should be able to
Yes.
have what they like to eat. Top comment: Steve is a visitor and may become a frequent one given that he's your husband's best friend. He's working around the things he's allergic to and doesn't carry an EpiPen for emergencies, so there's no need to do anything other than exclude the allergens from any dishes you share with Steve. Your husband acts like the house needs decontamination because Steve is moving in and becoming the new sister wife, not the asshole. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
either your husband is just like really worried about it, but
Yeah.
it seems like
It's under control.
I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, just come up with a compromise. Say like, let me know if Steve ever comes over, so then I can do what I need to do with the nuts. I don't know. Well, on to the next story. So, am I the asshole for repeatedly calling someone stupid after they accused me of lying about my children's ethnicity? My husband is Dominican and I'm Irish. Our kids look like him in terms of facial features, but they inherited my pale skin. Our son has his father's dark hair, but my daughter's is borderline dark blonde. Genes are weird, what are you gonna do? Both my kids and myself have my husband's last name, which is a popular Dominican last name. There have been times we get looks when people hear our last name and my husband isn't around. But it's never been too bad, and usually I shrug it off. Due to my husband's work schedule, he's rarely at school events, so most people just know me. There's another little girl in my daughter's class with the same last name as us. Her mom also volunteers often. When we met, she flat out said, "You're not Dominican." I said, "No, my husband and kids are." She said, "But your last name is X." I said, "Yeah, because it's my husband's." She pointed out how pale they are. So I guess oh, Scorpion. Hey, girl. These things are so scary. Oh my god, Celeste, watch out. Girl, run. Girl, run. No. Celeste, no. Celeste, no. Oh my god. She is fearless. She pointed out how pale they are. I said, "Genes are weird." But almost every time we see each other, she brings it up somehow, making comments about how pale the kids are. Finding it weird they don't know Spanish. My husband didn't learn growing up, so they don't know it either. I just let it roll off because while it's weird, I'm not going to get into a pissing contest. The teacher asked the kids to make collages about their cultures. My daughters had stuff related to being a Dominican and stuff related to being Irish. They had a whole culture day where parents were invited. The mom of the other little girl saw my daughter's collage and rolled her eyes, thankfully not in front of my daughter. There were no other kids around at the time as they were getting food. It was just parents looking at the collages. I asked what her problem is. She said, "I'm not a real Dominican." I said, "I never claimed to be." She said my kids aren't either, and that my husband is probably only a little Dominican, and we're claiming a culture that's not ours. I was dumbfounded. All I could ask was, "Are you stupid?" She said there was no need to be defensive. Finally, I had enough, pulled out my phone, and showed her pictures of myself with my husband and the kids. She stared at it for a moment and mumbled an apology. I said, "Yeah, maybe research how genes work so you don't make yourself look stupid in front of a bunch of third graders." She got teary-eyed and walked away. I got the stink eye from some other parents, which I ignored. When I told my husband later, he said calling her stupid repeatedly when she already apologized was an asshole move. Am I the asshole?
No.
Not
No.
even a little bit.
Call them stupid.
Because she
They're
is
fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? Stink eye? Oh, so people can't be honest anymore? Go fuck yourself.
She ate with the whole
It's
whole third
called
grader thing?
self-defense, and then she's getting stink eye. The first lady should be getting stink eye. Are you kidding me?
she's had
Makes me
enough.
so mad. It makes me so.
This is so dumb.
I would not
First
tolerate
of all,
this.
even if the husband doesn't look Dominican enough for you,
Enough.
that's what it seemed. Because she shut up after
Why
she
she-
saw how the husband looked Dominican.
Why is she
It's not
gatekeeping
any
it?
of your fucking business.
Why do you get to gatekeep a culture?
She's literally
the fuck?
get
What are you, like a Redditor or something? I
And
don't know.
it's giving this weird, like, we've worked so hard to be able to get to a point where two cultures can mesh. Like, weird to have like a white person and a black person together, a Dominican person and an Asian person together. Like, even if the husband doesn't look Dominican and the kids don't look Dominican, they are Dominican and it's not your fucking problem. just because they're pale. Who cares? And this, you know what this creates? It creates the children feeling like they have nowhere to belong because they're not Dominican enough for the Dominican people. They're not white enough for the white people. And they just feel like they don't belong anywhere. People like you create that feeling. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Like, what's her problem? Like,
I would say a lot worse than OP did.
Oh, yeah.
And she only shut up after seeing how Dominican he looked. So, top comment. I mean, it sounds like she's been harassing you for a while over this, and maybe more than a little prejudice. Gatekeeping an entire culture? What if your husband didn't look Dominican enough for her? Literally. There comes a point where you stop being nice. Maybe you did take it a bit far, but repeated snide remarks wear a person down until they snap. Not the asshole because it feels justified. Genetics are super weird. Reminds me of a story I was listening to the other week about a family with only albino children, and the father blamed the mother for it, calling her all sorts of awful names, had an affair, ran off with a mistress he knocked up who had an albino baby. So it was his genes that were creating the albino babies. I can't imagine being this bothered about someone else's family.
Yeah, I wonder where that gatekeeping comes from. That's the real question.
So this is dumb.
It's ridiculous.
Not the asshole. I would have said a lot worse. And final story of the day. This one is really weird and really funny to me. So, am I the asshole for bringing a generic product versus the name brand I was asked to bring? This seems so silly to me, but it became such a big deal, I have to ask. Last weekend, my girlfriend's family hosted a barbecue. I was always raised to never show up anywhere empty-handed, so I asked my girlfriend's mom what I could bring. She asked that I grab the Cool Whip for the dessert she was making. Easy enough. I figured it won't be hard to find, so I decided to wait until the morning of to grab it on my way there. Well, I get to the store about 20 minutes before the barbecue starts, and they're somehow out of the name brand. They did, however, have the store's brand whipped topping. As I didn't have time to go to another grocery store, I just bought the generic brand and headed off. Upon arrival, I hand the bag to my girlfriend's mom. She opens it, looks inside, and gets a weird look on her face. She asks where the Cool Whip is. I say the store was out, but this is pretty much the same thing, right? She looks a little irritated with me, but just tells me to make myself at home. As I'm putting my stuff down, I hear her asking her husband to run to the store to grab the Cool Whip. I can't hear the entire conversation, but he must have asked, didn't I bring it? Because I then hear her say, I asked for one thing and he couldn't even deliver. Nothing else was said directly to me, but there were a few passive-aggressive remarks throughout the barbecue, such as when her husband arrived, name brand in hand, calling him her hero. When the dessert was served, she again made a comment about how it's made with real Cool Whip. I didn't want to make a scene, so I took it on the chin. Never heard that before. When talking to my girlfriend about it later, she said that her mom was overdramatic, but I should have called her to ask if generic was okay. Or I could have gone to a different store. I asked if there was really a difference, and she said she didn't know, but it was what I was asked to bring, so I should have communicated better. Again, this all sounds so stupid, but am I the asshole?
No. Do you have any idea how many times, like, shoppers at stores, like the in-store shoppers, like at Whole Foods or whatever, like they like substitute something for something else?
Yeah.
If people got mad every single time that happened, they would go out of business. You know, it's like, suck it up.
And Cool Whip is literally the most
basically miscellaneous shit. It's not like they brought you like the wrong grain for the
I feel like
I don't know.
There are some name brand stuff that is like different, I feel, but Cool Whip is like, it's literally just whipped topping. I've had plenty of different brands of Cool Whip because again, like it fucking tastes the same.
Yeah, also like what is her problem?
Yeah.
Like you have to get like really? Like really? Like this is the thing you get mad about? If you get mad about this, I don't want to know what the fuck else you're going to get mad about.
I think she's probably a handful.
Like the type of person that just can't not get their way one time.
Yeah.
And it's like a family member, right? Like
a son-in-law. I asked him to get one thing and he couldn't even deliver. I would beat that bitch up.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Oh, no.
I, out of the kindness of my heart, asked, do you guys need anything? They said, we need this, and he brought it. Sorry, it's not the fucking neighbor. It's Cool Whip. There's probably
You should be grateful this person even offered to begin with. Yeah. You asshole.
I would be like, oh shit, it's
Fuck
like,
you.
I would never ever hold that against someone. That is just, you can tell a lot by a person by the way they would react if you bring kind of the wrong thing. But there's probably 2 ingredients in Cool Whip. What the fuck is in Cool Whip?
Do you really
Whip
need
and
that
cool.
one food coloring to be a certain number? Like, do you really
it's
need
white,
that?
bro. Like, it's not, I understand if it's like,
Are you
I
doing
don't know,
science
like
experiments?
like a frozen lasagna or something, and he brought the wrong brand of frozen lasagna. That's probably gonna taste different. You know what I mean?
But even if it does,
No. Even if that's what I'm saying. I can understand being like, oh shit, that's not the one that I like the most. But Cool Whip is the most basic shit you will ever encounter. That's like, it's just whipped cream. The fuck?
yeah, can't you just like take one for the team like a little bit? Like be a little understanding?
This
Like I
is
don't
just
know. They were
bizarre.
out. It's not like they had it and they were like, "Oh, I didn't feel like buying it. It was too far away." I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
want to
all they
walk
had.
down the aisle. Yeah, it's all they had. I did not have time to go get the other one. I could have maybe if, whatever, but the circumstances, sorry. It's just like be a little bit less of a prick about it. Like,
And the faces he got and like the
Ugh,
little,
I would.
it's made
no,
with
no, no,
real
no, no,
Cool
no.
Whip.
No, nope.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, there's a special place in hell for this kind of person.
That is so weird.
I don't
Okay,
even believe
so
in that.
top comment, not the asshole. My dad is one of those generic bad, name brand good people. My mom and I simply save the name brand containers, clean them, and replace them with the generic versions. Trust me, he hasn't noticed. Also, anyone who is using Cool Whip versus making homemade whipped cream doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to taste. Ooh, shit. The disrespect she showed a guest was gross, and I'd be avoiding people over there if you don't have to.
Avoid.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cool Whip, like, isn't really even that good. Sorry, hate to say it. It's okay. Like, if you're that snooty about name brand stuff, make your own fucking whipped cream, bitch. Oh, so someone else says, this is a crystal ball into your future if you stay with the girlfriend and she continues to handle her mom like this. She did ask for cool... Yeah, let's talk about the
Nope.
girlfriend for a second, because I would be like...
Nope.
I understand if you... Because some people, like, with parents like this are just like, that's just how they are. But the way she's like, well, she did ask for Cool Whip.
Oh,
It's
no.
like,
Nope.
like,
Nope. I would not tolerate this.
at the very least, just be like, I know, I'm sorry, she's being rude, just
At
ignore
least.
it. At the very least. But obviously not the asshole. So that's about it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can't believe I got that heated about Cool Whip. But comment below if you would get this upset if someone brought you the wrong Cool Whip. I would not. Would you?
No.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.